So today we're going to start out talking about ghosts. Since we haven't talked about ghosts, we meant to.
Are we going to have a proper introduction?
I do have one to read if you want to.
Go for it.
It's kind of, I don't know. But yeah, I do have a intro monologue that chat wrote up for me.
Uh-oh.
Welcome to the Mystic Podcast Channel podcast, episode number 12. Got Michelle here, my sister Shell, my good friend Jace. And what are we talking about today, Michelle?
We're going to talk about ghosts today. So what if everything we've ever believed about ghosts is only a fraction of the truth? What if the whispers in the hallway, the flicker in the mirror, the feeling that someone's watching you isn't spirits of the dead at all, but instead a momentary glimpse through the veil into something else? We've all heard the stories about haunted houses, footsteps in empty rooms, and the voices on recorders. And for centuries, we've called these manifestations ghosts, souls who haven't moved on. But what if we've just not understood that? What if the ghosts are stuck? What if we are stuck? So let's dive. Let's
dive into this rabbit hole.
Let's dive.
Well, we can start off saying we know a little bit about ghosts and spirits because
we do.
We have that little thing called Central States Paranormal that we're all three tied to with our good friend Alex Ames.
Yeah, I've got that Shroud Paranormal ITC. You can find all those Facebook pages on our ticker down below.
You got cryptid on there too?
Shroud Paranormal Cryptid, yeah.
Okay.
And ITC, yeah.
There you go.
And then UFO and paranormal.
Speaking of ITC, so on here lately on TikTok, I've been seeing Huff Paranormal.
Yeah.
And I mean, some of the stuff that he shows on there is like, holy smokes. Sometimes it makes the hair on my arm stand up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like he had Michael Jackson on there, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that was a good one too, man.
You know, all that stuff on Shroud on my ITC page, all that research that I posted there, you can see it in the videos. I was studying with him. He's a big part of why that page has over 3,000 followers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be a fun one to have on the show sometime.
Well, you know what? I will see what I can do.
That would be
I've got another guy too. Anthony Sanchez. He's the maker. He is the founder of ghosthunterapps.com. He wrote the app that I used in my research, amongst others. He has wonderful apps. I'll talk to him too.
Heck yeah.
He is also the author of the book UFO Highway.
Be a fun one to have on.
It would be. He's a
show on Amazon or Netflix called UFO Highway. I thought about watching.
I think he's on that. He's a wonderfully nice guy. Huff's a wonderfully nice guy. He kind of got out of it for a minute. I tell you what, he got out of it kind of for the same reason I got out of it. You get too close. Man, I tell you what, ITC research, people just do it for fun. And I guess if you just do it for a little bit for fun and get out of it, you probably can get out of it and be fine. But you could really get kind of deep in that. And it's really nothing to be messing with. I have to be honest.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain the acronym. What it's ITC?
Instrumental, not transcommunication. Maybe it is instrumental transcommunication, but what it is, it's using technology to communicate with spirits. And it originally, you can go to a website called worlditc.org. And those are the founders of this. I mean, back in the 70s, using the tape recorders. Mark, I'm terrible at remembering names.
And even the camera with the TV screen too.
Camera with the TV screen, right. They had a spirit team on the other side, which you can go on this page and plethora of research on there. He had a spirit team he was working with, helping him devise this instrument that he was using, this spirit comm device. Huff developed a spirit comm. He called his the portal, or
Yeah.
And then there was another guy, George something, who devised a really good spirit device, the Geoport or something like that. I'm probably not remembering. I'm horrible at remembering.
Well, I know he has his box. He has that box.
You're talking about Huff?
And then on top of the box, he has it looks like, I don't know if it's a light or if it's a gem or something, but it's like he was calling it a bridge.
He's got like copper, and then he's got like these guitar pedals hooked to it as well, that help with the reverb and help with the echo, because and I found in my research, I never liked using those. Now, some people like him claim that it comes through better. I at least using Anthony's apps, and Anthony has that integrated into his apps that you can use that stuff. I never liked it. In fact, there at the end, I was able to get rid of the white noise. I'll tell you, we could play some of my videos later if you want to.
Well, Tom will tell you, I feel like, especially with EVPs, anything you use to add to or take away from the direct recording is it like dirties up the recording. It makes it questionable.
It really doesn't make it questionable. I just felt like it was clear. Now, I don't like using those. Now, if you've got the old AM radio and you have unhooked the antenna where it doesn't get anything but static, I'm for it. But if it's doing radio, I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, well, I don't like any of those things.
I don't like it. I do not like it now. But like I said, if you're able to unhook it to where it's just static, fine.
I had the one that went up and down the line, the spirit box.
I don't like those things because, and I told Tom before, like, I don't like the Ouija boards at all. I don't like them. And to me, when you use those ghost boxes and spirit boxes and things, it seems like it's an even more direct way to contact, like a Ouija board, and I just don't like it.
And that is, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, and that's why I got out of it. I found that, I mean, here's the thing. Once you kind of put yourself out there as a beacon.
Yeah, you attract all kinds of things.
Yeah. And
and the spirit box doesn't provide a way to exit out like a Ouija board does. Like you can dismiss from the Ouija board and close it. Mm-hmm. How do you do that with a spirit box?
You kind of just close the session yourself.
Yeah, you turn it off. But
here's the thing: there are thousands of people doing it that just don't.
Yeah,
they don't. Yeah. And see, the thing at the time, and this, I don't know what Huff's doing now. I'll have to try to catch up because he got out of it. I'm interested that he's back in it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, but at the time, the whole thing was we were helping people cross over, and working with Saint Michael and some other deities. And there were prayers that we were saying, and there were things, and it got to the point, and I have I have recorded evidence. It got to the point to where spirits were gathering. I have it on recording, asking me to say the thing.
Yeah.
Asking me to do the job. Yeah. And it was like, it was just getting too much. And I just got out of it. I got out of it for a minute. I thought about getting back into it, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, if it's anything like the Ouija board experience I had, if you go back into it, they're waiting. They're going to be waiting.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I thought about, because I have spiritually ascended since then quite a bit and am more in tune with the ether. And I have no doubt that I would have even a stronger connection than I ever did before. But I have no doubt I would have a stronger connection than I ever did before. And I don't know if I'm ready to take that on.
See, now I've never done anything like that. Never messed with a Ouija board. The only thing I've had experience with Ouija board is when JC showed me the one, and then I had a bad dream for about a week. You know,
Hey, send me your Ouija boards, please. Send
No, I
them
don't.
to me.
It's hopefully gone for good.
Send them to me.
but I mean, besides picking up EVPs from using a recorder, that's about it.
Oh yeah, and we've got a plethora of EVP. I mean, EVP.
Yeah.
Here's the thing: you can get an EVP anywhere.
Yeah,
Anywhere.
that's what I tell people too. Like you can just you just set a recorder down and talk for a little while, and then leave it quiet, and you'll probably get something that wasn't that just didn't happen in your presence.
Right. Actually. So there are a lot. I was going to bring that page up that way later on. Maybe we'll check that out.
Okay. Well, when you said we're going to start talking about ghosts and stuff again, Tom knows my theories about. Okay, this goes back to my theory about like the gravity drive. I was telling you about how magnetics would probably work with that, and I think electromagnetics would open portals and different things. I've kind of expanded that to where I believe that would also include like what you're talking about with dimensions and contact. I think that using these things, especially anything that sends a signal, probably pierces the electromagnetic field.
Well, we're going to get into that.
Yeah.
That's one of my talking points.
And I also have decided to include that probably moving through the timeline would be through the electromagnetic fields too.
Yeah, we're going to that's actually one of the talking points.
Yeah, I think that gravity and all of this stuff is all because I mean nobody's really explored magnetic fields thoroughly. They just
we're starting to, but we're just still babies. I mean, we're like in kindergarten.
Well, I think once we figured out how to really tap into that, because it's an energy source, and I think once we really figure out how it works and we can tap into it and manipulate it more, I think that
according to Bashar, we are if we continue ascending like they want us to, we will be able to talk to them at will. But we'll get into that. So let's talk about first. Let's start out with the different kinds, the usuals when it comes to ghosts. So there's residual hauntings. Okay. Yep. Everybody's aware of residual hauntings, and it's always been my opinion that's the majority.
Yeah, I mean, I think you get your residual hauntings when you have possibly like a memory crystal in the area or in the ground, like
limestone, water, quartz.
And so
yeah, it's some kind of a window to a specific moment that was imprinted.
It's just like basically it's a situation that just loops.
Over and over again, and it's just
they don't care if they're there or not. They're just going to go through their process.
And the question has always been: are they really there, or is it just like a video, or like a hologram, or like it's not really the spirit? It's just the and then this gets into like what JC and what we're going to talk about later, or is it just the energy looping?
Well, it could just be a window into a specific time that's stuck on loop.
Could be too.
It's like you're just watching the same moment over and over as it's probably happening, and you can't interact with it because it's somewhere like an alternate version of where we are.
Maybe you're tapping into it, but it can't tap into you.
Yeah. It's like we're watching it and we're just observers.
Right. And on the opposite end, we've got the intelligent spirits and the interactive spirits, which we have experienced. I have experienced.
Well, we were up there above the barbecue that one time, because if you remember, we had the spirit box going, and you said, "Where's everybody from?" And they're like, "Detroit," and they just started naming off cities.
Yeah.
And then you said, "Why haven't you gone to the light yet?" And then you told them to go to the light, and then we never heard from them since.
Yeah, yeah.
because they're all like
And
to the
remember
right.
that old antique photo box thing that was sitting there? And
Yeah,
they kept asking why it hadn't gone. Or I can't remember. Do you remember that we were around that box and we were talking to it and it was interacting with us around that box. The old photographer that was there.
yeah. Because
Yeah.
he
So
was talking to us. I remember that came across real clear too.
yeah,
That's the
it
first
sure
time I
did.
saw one. It wasn't just like a quick response. It was like it came really clear. I remember
And
that.
more than one response as well.
Right, right.
So there's definitely intellectual, and the things the spirits I spoke to in ITC were obviously intellectual.
You know,
They
and I almost. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Well, I was going to say, I almost wonder, like for like residuals or whatever, to get. I wonder if maybe triggering the whole moment these crystals remember, if it's not charged by emotion in some way. Is there something that it takes like emotion to basically charge it into that crystal? Like there has to be a trigger to
Well,
set it up.
I mean, everything's a frequency, and it's all different for everybody else. So, I mean, if your frequency matched up with it, I mean, I don't. It could be possible, Like
I
everything
think
has wavelengths and frequencies, and when they match instead of like when they what's the word I'm looking for, when they conflict.
resonate.
Yeah, like when they're hitting each other, they're slapping up against each other. They won't do that. But if you match the wavelength, that's how transmission works.
And some crystals just absorb energy.
Yeah.
That's why when you go buy crystals somewhere, I mean, you need to clean them because they have absorbed the energy of every single person that picked that rock up.
Yeah, I mean, I like at the Stanley up there in Colorado. I almost wonder if it's not sitting on top of a bunch of quartz, and that's why people go in there and they pick up EVPs, and it's always seems like it's always a residual thing.
Well, it's in a mountainous region. I have no doubt it's quartz and possibly limestone as well.
Right.
Johnny, my grandson, he went to the Stanley and had an experience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. I think he was touched.
It wasn't. Never mind. I was going to make a really bad joke. I shouldn't do that.
Don't make that joke.
Yeah,
My kids in the room, man.
I'll save everybody for once.
Yeah. But of course, he wasn't freaked out about it or anything because he is one of us. So,
That's too bad.
So, and then, yeah, we also have poltergeist activity. Poltergeist, which I have experienced as well. And I don't think they're always angry.
And I said noisy.
Oh, noisy? Yeah, that's noisy ghost. That's what it means in German. That's right.
Well, one of the traits of the poltergeist is they start off friendly, but they end not so friendly, right?
I don't think so. I think some aren't.
I mean, I guess it could be different.
But I think that goes across the board, don't you?
Yeah, I guess they'd probably be individuals. So,
yeah. But I think sometimes they're just trying to get your attention. They want you to know they're there.
I've experienced that.
I also kind of feel like if it can interact with things in our reality, like if it can move objects, I feel like that's beyond ghost activity. I think that's more into like a demonic activity. I don't think the ghosts do that.
Why would that be what makes that demonic?
Because of the energy level it would require to actually interact with a physical object here.
But why does energy level determine demonic?
Because demons aren't dead, and I don't know. It makes more sense to me because they're stronger. Like they would be stronger than a ghost.
Okay, but still, that doesn't mean they're demonic. And demonic, the idea in like what your idea of demonic is Christian based. Daemons, not all of them are evil. And it's daemon, Daemon. And not all of them are evil. They're just another form.
We could talk about this for a long time, and
Oh,
I'm not
yeah.
sure I would agree.
Oh, yeah, because here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have to stop and think. Who made you scared of the dark?
The dark. The dark did it by itself. Like the light went off, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Creation happens in the dark. Seeds germinate in the dark. Babies in the womb are created in the dark. All kinds of wonderful things happen in the dark. The dark is just dark. There's nothing
Don't make
evil
sandwiches in the
about it.
dark.
You can make sandwiches in the dark.
Yeah.
It can be scary.
But
Because
see,
I can't read the expiration date, so
Oh
You-
I'm
no!
mixing up a sandwich.
Bad mayonnaise.
it's a guideline anyway. It's a guideline anyway.
It's an expiration date on
I have
mayonnaise.
an expiration. I live with an expiration cop. Constantly throwing away my good stuff. I'm like, dude, yo, it's expired, Mom. It's expired. I'm like, it's a guideline. Leave my food alone.
Well, that's what I always tell them. I'm like, okay, you have expiration date, which okay, you can throw that out. But if it says Best By or Best Before, it's probably still good. Well, it says Best Before 2015. It's probably still kind of good.
Well, depends. Could be.
I go by, is it fuzzy? Does it smell funny?
If the answer is no,
oh god,
we're in like Flynn.
I found a plastic thing full of mayonnaise in the very back of the pantry, and it was it had been hidden forever. I grabbed that sucker and pulled it out, and the whole thing had gone brown. I was like, this one probably is bad.
Megan reached in and got my ranch out of the fridge, and she ate some on a carrot. She's like, oh, how old is this ranch? It's a bit twangy. I says, it's salad dressing. It's supposed to be twangy.
It's fermented ranch.
Leave my food alone.
You can sit there. You can have the fermented ranch. You can eat a little bit, see some colors that aren't there.
Get a little loopy.
It's a twofer. You taste good and you're having a good time.
Right. Enhances the experience.
So what if the walls are breathing after you eat it?
So then we move on to shadow people, which I have also experienced. Well, you know what?
I don't like those either.
That's a toss-up, though. I have seen a shadow person, the typical traditional shadow person. But as Tom knows, I've grown up with the Hat Man. Some think he's a shadow person.
I think that
I don't think he's a shadow person.
I think that one just sounds, I don't know. I have no experience with it, but the name is goofy to me, and it makes me laugh.
I tell you what, it was really bizarre for me back in the 90s when I first got internet and found out that all kinds of other people had seen him too. Yeah. And it also flipped me out when my stepmom said she had seen him.
Becky.
I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me. And then I found out. So that's a real thing. Some people think he's just a watcher. That's kind of what I think.
He's a supervisor of the shadow people.
I think he watches people who are higher spiritually than, say, normal people. Like maybe even a protector.
When we were at the Eldridge in Lawrence that one time, me and Enrique were down there in the in one of those rooms, and I could have swore I saw a shadow person running from left to right in like a hallway. And it wasn't very tall, and it was fast. It was like zip. I mean, he went across.
I used to see him all the time when I was a kid, but I haven't anymore. Like, and it is always the thing, like you're watching TV, it's like 10 or 11 o'clock. And then over here, there's a person like right back here, and you turn to look, and it's like, and it's gone.
Yeah.
So the last type are crisis apparitions, and what crisis apparitions are is right after death, like right after someone dies, they'll appear to people. Many people talk about,
like Jeebus.
Waking up and someone standing at the end, at the end of their bed or something like
wake
that.
Up and then see parents that have passed away and relatives.
Right.
I remember when before Grandma passed away, up there at Lawrence, she had said she had saw Grandpa and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, when because she was up there, and it's like because it was me, Ed, Tracy, and Mark, and we were all up there, and they had resuscitated her because they
Oh,
did
this was
find her.
after that.
They had because they found her dead and they resuscitated her, and she had the tube down her throat to help her breathe and everything because she wasn't. I mean, if she didn't have that, she would have been died
Yeah.
soon, you know.
Well, they
And
weren't. Yeah, they weren't
and they
supposed to.
weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah.
Per her, you know,
Hmm.
you know,
She had a
her
DNR.
was, you know, if she's found dead, we left dead, not to resuscitate. And but the thing was, we were sitting there, and I can't remember if it was Ed or if it was Tracy had asked her if she saw anyone, and she said, "I saw Grandpa," or I saw Dad, you know, Earl, you know,
Right.
Grandpa.
I tell you, about 6 months before she died, I dreamt Grandpa was coming to get her, and I got in an argument with him and told him,
Doesn't
"No,
surprise me.
you can't take her. You can't take her." I remember that.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I remember. I tell you what, I remember when Grandpa died, and I was having a dream. I was driving the citation down I-70. I think I was headed to your place up there off. You live, you
Six,
know,
16th Street.
yeah, off of 16th. No, I don't think it was 16th Street. Were you living there, or were you?
No, when Grandpa died, I was still in the
You're still in the
barn.
house up there in
Yeah,
Marion, you know,
yeah,
off of
yeah.
Marion
That's
Lane.
right. Hmm.
And I had a dream that I was driving there, and Grandpa was sitting next to me. He goes, "Why'd you let me die?" And it just messed me up. And I'm like, I said, "Why'd you smoke so many cigarettes?"
Yeah, we
You
used to
know,
give him cartons of cigarettes for Christmas.
heck yeah. But I remember
Yeah,
him asking me that question. And I'm like, and I'd wake up and I'm like, what? Why did I have that dream?
yeah. You
You
would have
know?
had no responsibility in that at all.
So,
Yeah, it's crazy. The mind is crazy. I had a weird dream last night. I have to tell you, it has nothing to do with ghosts. But so Josh, my son-in-law, right?
right.
He was taking me to the store, but he said, "Oh, we were going to scuba dive to the store because that was going to be more fun," which it was. It was
Right.
totally more fun. But then after we went to the store, we found out, I don't even know how, but he had a race truck, and it was a Mickey Mouse sponsored race truck. So there was like Mickey Mouse all over his race truck. Somebody stole it.
Oh.
And this morning when I got up, I messaged him that, and he goes, "I always loved that truck." Anyway, off topic.
Did I tell you about the crazy dream I had a couple weeks ago where Tom Cruise was in the back seat?
Yes, you did.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's typically what happens to me when I go to sleep.
You dream about Tom Cruise?
Yeah. Tom Cruise, shirtless.
It's not that kind. It's not that kind of podcast, JC. Although we might get more viewers if it was. So, could these things be? And I've been reading this book, The Afterlife Frequency by Mark Anthony. Okay.
There, that proves it, Tom. Everything's a frequency. That proves
There
it.
you
Yeah,
go.
well, physics has already proved that.
See,
So
I proved it.
You're late to the game.
I already proved it.
Could these be dimensional bleed throughs or overlaps? And the theory goes that as Earth's frequency, what we're going through right now, Earth's frequency is raising. And everything that is on Earth, that its frequency has to raise as well, or it's just not. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what happens. But as Earth's frequency is raising, the veil is getting thinner. And that's why we're seeing so many paranormally dimensional things like portals and, ghost sightings and all of these things, Bigfoot sightings, all of these things, that aliens, all of it. Okay. are we just witnessing when we seen these, what we call ghosts, are we just witnessing parallel timelines or just
Well,
other dimensions that are happening right now?
could it be because the poles are shifting too?
And that's all part
yeah.
of the frequency raising.
That messes with the magnetic fields.
And think about it. Think about it. When you're spinning something, as it goes like this, it's going to spin faster.
Yeah, that's true.
Just centrifugal, or that's just physics.
Right.
So it kind of, also another timeline slips or quantum echoes. These could be timeline anomalies like a hiccup in the holographic projection of reality.
You
Now,
just saw the Mandela effect. Yep.
this is based on this all being nothing but a holographic projection.
Well, I mean, if timelines are slipping, I mean, that would explain all this Mandela effect stuff everybody's always talking about.
Oh, absolutely.
Some of this is like, there's just no way that it's not the way I remember it,
I came across a new one the other day, and it was weird that I came across it since you were talking about, you were talking about Bob Ross. This was about, who was the exercise guru? Richard Simmons.
Yeah.
Being in a headband.
Hello. You what?
Richard Simmons wearing a headband.
Yeah.
I know for a freaking fact he did.
Yeah, he did. He wore them all the time, especially in the sweating of the oldies.
And they're saying no.
He wore wristbands and a headband.
Yeah,
and you go back and you cannot find it.
That's how everybody used to make fun of him. Was you put wristbands on when you're in grade school, and then you're hello, Richard.
You go back and the internet, and you can't find it.
It's ridiculous.
Hold on.
You're out of luck, Tom.
I haven't looked. I just came across it the other day.
Let me look.
While Tom's looking that up, so also spirit or astral travelers could be mistaken for ghosts. Maybe it's not a ghost. Maybe it's part of your spirit team coming to you. And here is another thing. Thought forms or tulpas. You know what a tulpa is? Some people say Bigfoot's a tulpa.
Like tall person? Is it abbreviated?
No. TULPAS. And there was actually a college group got together, and they went to manifest a spirit, and they actually did it, and they recorded it, and it really happened. And the spirit manifested. But it was all because this group got together and manifested. It was a tulpa. People think Bigfoot's a tulpa. If enough people believe in it, you're going to see it.
Maybe.
If you believe in ghosts, maybe you're going to see one.
But that could also be some type of like a visualized, like matrixing type thing.
A hallucination type thing.
Yeah.
And I actually have a recording that kind of goes along with this when I was doing my IT research. Did you find it?
I didn't. Well, the only one I found was one that someone paint shopped a headband on him. The AI overview for Google says the widespread belief that Richard Simmons wore a headband during his fitness routines is incorrect. Despite a strong memory of the fitness icon wearing a headband, there is no verified photographic evidence of him ever wearing it. Some believe the incorrect memory stems from associating him with the typical 80s aerobic style, which often includes headbands. Others suggest it might be a case of a Mandela effect where a collective memory differs from reality.
See?
I can swear I can remember him.
I know.
He used to wear them when he would show up on talk shows.
Yes, like he always wore them.
Yeah.
I know.
Because he'd come out in his shorts and his tank top. He wears his workout outfit. He wears his shorts, his tank top, his sneakers, and his wristbands and his headband. On Johnny Carson, on any of them.
I know. I'm telling you. But anyway, so could ghosts actually be ETs or ultra terrestrials masquerading as ghosts. Now, I have an ITC recording that says we're back here on Earth.
Maybe that's Dianetics type stuff. The Scientologists are
I don't know.
Their demons are coming back from planet wherever.
I don't know. But this book that I've been reading, The Afterlife Frequency, and I'm only about halfway done reading it. His whole premise is everything. We know everything is frequency, everything is vibration. Okay, physics has proved that. Quantum physics has proved that. And it proves more and more every day. His premise is it is all frequency, and if all you have to do is match that frequency or be open to that frequency, and you have free range communication with anybody you want at any time.
It makes sense, because they say that we're energy basically trapped in a human in a body. You know, the human body is just a shell. What gives us our personality and everything is our frequency, our soul.
Well, I mean, just the fact that everything's frequency kind of gives credit to the theory of simulated reality, because it's like everything's being broadcast.
Yeah. Oh. Did you guys look up what I texted you to look up the other day? What
You
was
must have
it?
texted on Facebook.
No, I didn't. I texted it on here. I think maybe I did do it on Facebook. Silent sound spread spectrum and how it's connected to 5G.
Oh, I do remember you said something about 5G, but I was doing something and then I forgot all about it.
Yeah. And that is what you're talking about right now, JC, emitting frequency that makes you see things, feel things, hear things.
Well, the government's been working on stuff like that, trying to broadcast things into people for a long time.
Known to be. And we also know, as being ghost researchers, how electromagnetic fields affect everything.
Yeah.
They can even make you hallucinate. If you are, some people are more susceptible than others, but it can happen. It can make you sick.
Yeah, K2 meter will tell you, or an EMF detector.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. And with the electromagnetivity being raised right now on the earth due to the sun being so active and the earth itself being so active, is that what is allowing us to see all these things?
I'm telling you, I think magnetic fields are the key to almost everything.
I do too.
Yeah.
I have to agree.
I do too. I kind of think it is the key. It's how everything works.
I think gravity works off of magnetics. I don't know exactly how, but they detect gravity waves. I mean, it could be magnetic frequency.
Has something to do with sound too, because you can move things with sound.
Like you could probably disrupt the wave.
You can make things levitate with sound.
If you have a magnetic wave and you have a resonating sound wave, it can disrupt the wave, and then you could probably just vibrate it along.
You know, it's because technically we're all vibrations. You know, it's why we are solid,
the same thing.
because
vibration's the same thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, it is. It's the same thing. That's why, I have learned that this house resonates to me and everybody in this house. If I'm being chaotic or having a bad day, I've really got to watch my frequency, because I will tear this house down if I can't let myself go. Like if I get, pissed off or mad or angry, within an hour, the entire house is that way. So I believe that every house works that way. Probably. There's somebody in the house that everyone resonates with, and they're kind of the keepers of the peace.
Yeah.
It's
That's
real.
interesting.
You know, that's why you can walk in a room and feel.
Yeah, like when when certain people walk in a room, it like changes the room.
It can change the room, or you can walk in a room and feel, ooh, I
Oh
don't want
yeah,
to be,
like like I've noticed that for me when you walk in and something's wrong, it like feels like it's hot, like it's warm in there, and it's
See, to me,
uncomfortable.
it feels heavy,
Yeah,
stuffy. So
yeah,
that's kind of the
it
same.
feels
Yeah.
uncomfortable, like uncomfortably. I don't know if hot or warm is the right thing, but it's like I don't know. It's like being like when you're under a blanket too long, you get overheated.
Yeah.
It's almost like that.
Suffocating.
Yeah,
And you can, it doesn't take you long to be at a party where everybody's partying and happy. And next thing you know, so are you,
yeah.
no matter
Well,
what.
alcohol might play a factor.
Oh, well, So what do you think about, so ghosts. So what, with our experience, I don't know, with my experience with ghosts, I tend to want to lean myself personally on I think we're tapping into other dimensions. I think we're tapping into other lifelines, timelines, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
I don't
I mean,
think it's ghosts like we traditionally kind of were brought up to think.
I think it just you're just talking to wherever the energy people's energy goes. Like after we're done here, we go to a different place, and we're able to sometimes pierce into that and contact people.
And there's people that say that we don't, when we die, when this physical shell dies, we don't even really die. We can hop right into another lifeline and continue living.
I mean, I don't see why not. I think there's something about our genetic code that pulls, like whatever makes our spirit, it pulls that towards us while we're in the womb, and so like that's why we're all individuals is because it pulls out of a big pool, so everybody gets something different out of that pool, and then when we die, it goes back to the pool. I think I told you this before already. It all goes back to
Yeah, you have, I think, but that's a
and so
valid theory. Yeah. I don't know. It really makes you want to think. And I think mediums and people like me, I don't think we're contacting the spirits of the dead. I think we're basically contacting just the ether in general or the Akashic, whatever.
this is like
Yeah.
the collective consciousness, and it
Yeah.
can organize itself into whoever you want to contact or whoever wants to contact you.
Yeah. And we're getting that information.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just more frequency sensitive, or maybe more frequency acute. Really, I think that might be a better term: frequency acute versus
I think
sensitive.
that is a good term. Yeah. Frequency acute.
Because because I think you can hone in on the frequency and you can communicate with them. Whereas, if you're just sensitive, I don't know, you can maybe sensitive is like being aware of something going on around you.
I
You
think
know,
sensitive is a gamut. It's like a spectrum,
right?
you know?
I mean, I know there's sometimes I can sit there and I've been in places where it's like I don't even know the people, but I know there's a problem, and I can pick up on it. I mean, I've seen that. I was at Sandstone one time, I think, with Jason Pedley, and I can't remember. We were back in the grass section where there's always craziness,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember, you know, just for whatever reason, I just was drawn to look at these people. I can't even hear what they're saying. I can see them conversing, but I can just all of a sudden feel that they were getting agitated with one another. It's
I
like
have no doubt. Yeah.
I was picking it up, and I'm like, and I mean, I think if I would have sat there and stared at them long enough, I probably could have figured out what the argument was about.
That doesn't surprise me at all because
Yeah,
you're sensitive like me. Which makes me believe we got it from mom, which
yeah,
I know that because grandma would talk to me about when mom was younger, but mom never, she was no part of it.
right.
I think grandma was, I think it comes down that way.
Didn't we have like and I don't know. I remember there was like a seat cover that had all the zodiac signs on it. It was like a blue seat cover. It had like a foam. Like you could,
Mhm.
if you needed to sit on something soft, you could put that down.
Maybe.
And I think the old chalkboard, or not chalkboard, but the old, I don't know if you remember, Grandma had that really big checkers board on
That
one side.
Chinese checkers.
Well, it wasn't Chinese checkers. It
Oh
was
yeah, I remember that.
the piece of, it was like a piece of wood or whatever, and like they made a checkerboard on one side. The other side looked like it was possibly a Ouija board. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
these
I
things.
don't know.
I just remember I could tell you where they were in the rec room. You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's because
Yeah.
that's where I always saw it. And I
Yeah.
remember when they changed the garage into the rec room at Grandma's house.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that too. I don't know. I think the spirit world is just like the earthly world. I've always said this as well because I tell you what, I kind of got into a not really a big flap because I got out of it. I wasn't going to get into it with him, but there was a medium on TikTok and I quit following him and I was like, yeah, whatever. Because they kept telling everybody, you know, as soon as you die and as soon as you cross over, everyone's love and it's light and everyone's happy and everyone's this and this and this. And I'm like, no,
Yeah, it sounds like a fairy tale.
no.
Yeah.
Right.
I will die on the
know.
hill that no, it's not that way at all. It's really not unlike Earth. It's really not unlike as we are here, which makes total sense if we're spiritual beings. Okay, even though we have the ego that does drive us, if we are essentially spiritual beings, that part of us is going to transfer over. If you were a crappy person in life and you vibrate at that frequency, which just some people do, just some people do. Just like some people are white, some people are black, some people are deaf, some people are blind. I guess that's a physical thing. But some people just vibrate lower, some people vibrate higher. I don't think it's any different in the ether. I have experienced really crappy spirits.
Well, yeah, they're individuals.
Spirits who are malicious.
Yeah.
And I have experienced spirits who are not malicious. So I know that for a fact. So I don't know. I think there are spirits who take advantage of people who are playing in the spirit realm and don't need to be.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of people that do that.
definitely.
Like people that don't take it serious should never be involved with it.
You know, that's what I'm saying. If you're not prepared, the thing is people don't learn all the things that can happen.
Well, they learn the hard way sometimes.
You got to know the things that will happen before you can try to prevent the things from happening. And they go into this as it's, you know, it's no different than those ghost hunters that run out of the building screaming. For real?
Right.
Why are we here?
Oh, those guys crack me up. It's like, oh, this is so scary. I'm going to go in here. It's going to be scary. Then they go in there and get scared and run out like little girls. And it's like, why?
Yeah. Why are we here to do?
There's that one show on the Travel Channel. It was always, they're British. And they always had the close up of the person's face and
The most haunted?
Yeah. Or something like that. And they're like, oh, oh. It's like, what?
It's like, okay, you know, and that's fine. I don't know. I never once reacted that way. Seeing a ghost, I saw a ghost at Tracy's house. Never once reacted that way. Now, if I reacted anyway, it made me speechless. Because you sit there and you're like,
well, you're not expecting that.
Yeah, and your head going, did that happen? Did I see that? Am I imagining that? You know, that's what happens to me.
Well, that's like me at GE Capital that
Right.
one time seeing the old lady and I couldn't catch her. And it's like she's always one step ahead of
When did
she
you,
was.
at any point, did you think, okay, I'm chasing a ghost?
Well, I mean, the mindset at that, at that time, I'm like, my job, I'm thinking, okay, I got to do my job.
You were at work. Yeah.
I got to turn the keys. I got to make sure nothing's on fire. There's nothing bad happening in here. It's all safe, all secure. And then going out and seeing someone, because I know it was me in the building, would have been me and a Korean guy who did the cleanup. And the only thing he knew how to say in English was hello.
Yeah.
So, and then, so I would go up there
Gesundheit.
and then I saw this lady walking into that area. I'm like, hey, who are you? Because at the time the doors would have been locked. No one would have been able to come in until I got up there and saw them. And, but I went up there and, I knocked, I tried to catch her and then I kind of jogged a little bit, I at the rate of speed that I was moving, I should have caught her. It wouldn't have been a problem. And
Right.
she was already on the other side leaving the door. It's almost like she was leading me on, almost like she was having fun, which
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
She was going
She
was going to lead you to the staircase. She was going to lead you to the staircase to hell, Tommy. That's what she was doing.
pushing.
Probably
Or she was
pushed me
just
over.
walking her walk. She was just doing whatever she did, walked her walk that she walked
Well,
when she
and the
worked.
thing is, and then like I told the captain about it, and he's like, hey, just
Don't tell me that's true.
after a drug test that I had to take,
You're
you know,
fired.
after a drug test I had to take, and after it came back clean, he's like, look, if you see it, just ignore it. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, I'm sitting there at the front desk. If you remember how the layout was there, at GE Capital, because the old layout was we were off in another area, but when they rebuilt that foyer area, there was an overhead above us, and
Yeah.
that's where I kept hearing the body falling, hitting the ground.
Yeah.
And I'd go up there and I'd check it out. There'd be nothing up there. There's nothing to make that noise. I'd go back down and then I'd hear it again. And I told him about it. I said, look, I'm hearing a body fall. And I'd even look up at the camera that's recording and I would point to my ear and I would point upstairs saying, hey, I heard something going on upstairs. And I'd mark it on the shift report. And it's like, I don't know what else really to do. I mean, that's when they kind of told me that I was like the seventh person to see this ghost and have a reaction with this lady that had died. It was because it's a call center and she had a bad phone call and she had a massive heart attack at the desk and died right there. And she fell out of her chair. And that's probably
Yeah.
what I'm hearing. It's a residual,
Right.
And then she's probably the one walking around.
walking around.
Doing her
And
job,
she's,
doing whatever she did.
not realizing maybe she doesn't realize she's dead.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be a situation she hasn't realized she's crossed over.
And I know that I have seen evidence of that occurring, people not understanding that they're dead. And some people say that it depends on where the person is spiritually or what their beliefs are.
Well, and here's one of the few things, I'm not a fan of Zach Bagans, but this is actually one I
Did you guys hear that? Did you hear that? What was that? Did you hear that?
I have to give him credit for this one. I have to give him credit when he had the encounter with the ghost of River Phoenix, or he got an EVP, and he sat there and he's like, "No, he told River Phoenix that he had passed away, that he had died of an overdose."
Yeah.
And that was, to me, that was actually, you can tell by the way his mannerisms were. It was different. It wasn't like, "Oh, I'm possessed." Possessed.
Oh, yeah.
That guy just gets me, man.
Yeah.
He's
Did you
going
see
through
that?
some hard times. Right
Did you
now.
guys see that?
He's going through some hard times right now.
Well,
all his women are calling him out.
That's terrible. So he needs a new batch of women.
The ghosts of affairs past.
Sounds like he just needs a new batch of women that don't know about each other.
He needs to clear his dang phone.
Right.
You just keep them all in different states, and then this sort of thing was less likely to happen.
Well, maybe
He messed up the whole Holly Madison thing. She had a cool place. He could have been living in that haunted house.
Yeah.
Blew it.
Holly Madison, wasn't that one of Hefner's? Hugh Hefner's girlfriends?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
She's young. No, it couldn't have been. Well, I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know.
Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Pretty sure
Any excuse to look.
Let me look. Holly Madison.
He's going to Hooterville.
I also think it matters how, like, when we see loved ones, how emotionally attached you are to a location or a person. And I think some people don't come around because they don't want to scare you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, I was waiting to hear. But yeah, so
he was just looking at pictures.
I do know that there's lots of research that shows that does happen.
When I looked up her name, it did come up with Hugh Hefner and Candy Wilkinson and that other girl.
It's also possible more than one person has that name.
True.
That's true. It's not Dolly Madison.
No.
Yeah.
And there's no snack cakes on this
pass me
one.
a snack cake, please. I mean, speaking of cool people to live with.
Dolly Madison, yeah.
Yeah,
give me some more zebra cakes, goddammit.
So I do know that one thing, and I know we did not do this, and I do regret not doing it more. And I think it maybe caused a little bit of problems. We never cleansed after we hunted, we never cleansed before. None of that. And I think we were really lucky.
That might be true.
However, did anything ever follow you home?
No.
One time we did it when I was living with Chris and Deb, and we had come home and everything, and I was driving back to where I was living there with them. It's like I didn't have any energy, but then again, we were up till 3 a.m, and then I went home and slept for a little bit and woke up at noon to watch the Chiefs play. And they were telling me, like, maybe, a ghost got some of your energy and that's why you're so sleepy. I'm like, probably not. I mean, I snore like a freight train. So,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Well, every time I got back in the car when we left, I was like,
well, here's a weird thing. And I don't know if I'm going to bring this up.
That makes me good, right? I'm good after that.
I hadn't actually told anyone this yet. So you're all getting this firsthand right now. And I don't know, but it's made me think. Okay. So when I'm reading someone, okay, I'm connecting to spirit. Okay. Lately, during readings, I get like dizzy feeling or just kind of whoopy feeling.
Like you're loopy or something? Like you're...
I don't want to say I'm loopy because I'm still clear thinking and everything, but it's almost like
maybe your harmonics off.
Huh.
It
could be. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm reading clear, so I wonder if it's because of everything happening earthly and cosmically. I wonder if it's because I'm getting a stronger connection.
Yeah, it could be. Could be who knows? I mean, could be.
A long time ago, years ago, an old spirit lady told me you need to eat chocolate before you read somebody. You need to eat chocolate after you read them.
That sounds like just an excuse to eat chocolate.
Well, I'll take any, but whatever.
Just like Tom going to Hooterville any chance he gets.
But I'm thinking about going and getting some. All I got sugar-free stuff, but I'm thinking about grabbing a bag of, maybe Hershey Kisses or something. And I wonder if that's why she gave me that advice.
Yeah, maybe try it and see if it stops that.
No, but it's happened, especially in the last couple of weeks in specific. I'm telling you, that's somebody's cell phone ring.
What's that? That bird?
That's a we guys cockatiel.
Mm-hmm. 2 of them. Yeah.
Well, David Barry, when you gave him a bunch of those birds, there was someone at the park when I lived at the apartment complex that I lived at there in Tongi.
Yeah.
Someone's had a car alarm and it went off for a long time, so the birds picked up on it. So every once in a while they'll sit there. Funniest thing I ever seen.
Whoever they were with before, because they've done this since I got them.
Yeah.
And I think it's their cell phone or a phone. So, yeah, sorry. Can't make them shut up, so I'm not even going to try.
So, shut up, bird.
But no, I tell you, I don't know. Have you had any recent paranormal experiences?
No, I've been staying away from stuff.
I haven't had anything, hey, have you seen anything paranormal lately? No.
No? How long ago?
Seen a lot of kind of normal things.
It was like it's been a while since you've seen anything.
Did any of the cleansing stuff I sent you help?
Never really used it.
Oh.
But, I mean, the thing is, though, for the most part.
You're talking about, like, didn't you say you're seeing a cat or something around the house?
She was seeing a black cat.
Yeah.
Sometimes I see it maybe a few months ago.
Sometimes you see it?
It's like becoming more transparent.
She says she'll see it every once in a while, but it's becoming more transparent.
Oh.
Is that Rachel or Gracie?
It's Gracie.
Yeah.
Which it's possible because she, stuff like that stronger in the women in our family.
Well, and if it's fading away, it's just because it's getting.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably. I would think that's probably a good sign if it's getting.
She sees the cat or the thing in her room.
Do you see it's a cat?
Yeah.
Do you see didn't you see something else, some kind of like floating thing? No? Didn't like a wheel or something? Did you see like a wheel or something?
No.
Okay.
When you see a cat apparition and that's there, that they show up for people who are spiritually inclined, and they're there as like, helpers, so to speak, or whatever.
Now she was seeing it before we got Cuddles and Pumpkin.
Yeah, I know.
And so has it gone away since we've gotten Cuddles and Pumpkin?
Yeah.
So she's saying a lot of it's gone away since we've got Cuddles and Pumpkin.
I would say that Cuddles and Pumpkin are taking its place physically.
Yeah.
Because cats are very, it's always said cats walk on both sides.
Right. They got 1 foot in the ether.
Yep. Cats are a thing for sure. When you see a cat, though, like that as an apparition, though, that speaks to your spiritual abilities. And it would make sense that you would have spiritual abilities. And it's going to be all a matter of whether they're fostered or whether they're shut off. But they're not ever going to go away. And that's the same, I think that goes with you. I think that goes with anybody.
Well, for me, it's if I see somebody, there's a lot of times I can read them. I can tell if they're agitated or something.
Understand how you would accept that you see people.
I don't see anybody.
I mean, if I saw a ghost, I would be reading that Bible 24/7 every single day.
She said that if I saw a ghost, she said that if she saw a ghost, she'd be reading the Bible 24/7 every day. It would basically never be freaked out. It'd be okay.
Never be freaked out.
You come get me. I'll help.
There's nothing. No. Yeah. Never be freaked out.
We never had anything in this house to talk about, but I told you before about the last house, especially the thing with the ceiling fan, right?
I don't think so.
The one out in the country?
Yeah, we lived there for about 5 years, right? This was so weird. It didn't freak me out until like right when we were moving out, because that's when it kind of okay. So we get there the first day in there. We go in. We're moving stuff in. I come in the front door. Go in the living room. I reach up to turn the light on in the ceiling fan, and I pull the thing down. It's got a little wooden bead on it. So I grab it and pull it down, and instead of it just clicking and going back up, it like pulled it down and it clicked, and then it like shot out of my hand, like somebody yanked it out of my hand, and it disappeared. It didn't come back. It wasn't on the fan anymore. I couldn't find it anywhere. Yeah, I mean, like it was not on the fan. It was gone. And I looked all over. I thought maybe it fell. I looked all over the place. I couldn't find it anywhere. And so we lived there for 5 years. We're moving out. I'd come back in and get the last couple boxes, put them in the back of my truck. I come back in and turn the light out, and I'd go to turn the ceiling fan off, and like it had the disconnected part of the chain, but the wood bead part was gone.
Mm.
So I pull the chain, and I just happened to look down, and right underneath the fan, right in the middle of the floor, is a little length of chain about this long with the wood bead on the end of it.
Which you would have seen that.
After 5 years in the living room, yeah. Well, vacuuming and everything else, yeah.
That's
Weird.
crazy. That's crazy.
And the thing is, that house that he lived in, those were houses when they built like the Kansas
Oh yeah, they moved them from
Speedway,
Kansas City.
and before they built Legends.
Yeah.
Huh.
The guy who owned the farm lotted out his lands, and he got all those houses and just had them moved out there to the country.
Wow.
And there's other stuff, like little things that happen. I don't remember them now, but like a couple little things happened while we were staying there. But that one was the big one. I was like, holy crap. So I picked it up and I put it back on the fan, and I left and locked the door.
So I was just going to share with you some of my before we're done today. I was going to share.
Talk about Bigfoot.
We didn't talk about Bigfoot. We'll have to save him for another episode.
Yeah.
But I was going to share some of these ITC videos with you. I got everybody hooked up to Life 360 now. Like,
oh yeah,
way to go,
everybody. So
way
now,
to go.
Yeah,
that was a mistake. That's why I don't use that stuff. So I'm if I had Facebook on my phone, that's all that would happen to me. So I just don't even put it on my phone, and then eventually
you need to get Messenger though, so we can messenger you. Let me see here.
I don't know.
Let's
see. You can messenger me with a text message though.
Yeah, we do.
Hang on, I'm going to see here. Okay. No, I don't want that one. I want a shorter one. That one's too long. Let's find a short one. Okay, here's one. Let me bring up my screen here. All right. And I'll turn this up too, so I hope you can hear it.
Are you here with me? Yes, I hear you. Who is here with me? Yes.
So, real quick here, do you know who you're talking to here?
No.
Or?
What is that you're using? Is that the radio thing?
No, it's called the Vocubus, and it's the app that Anthony Sanchez created. One of the
Well,
apps.
here's the thing. Gracie, sitting here, got up and went to the bathroom, said she wasn't feeling very well. She was okay until we started hearing this.
Huh. I don't know. But it's kind of broken up. It was really hard sometimes.
Yeah, it was hard to read, hard
Is
to
it
listen
always
to.
broken up like that when you use it?
No. Just this one is.
What is your name? What is your name?
Yeah, I don't like that voice. I don't like that.
And I certainly couldn't find anything on it.
Who was with me this evening?
You know, it's such a cool probably talk to someone you
your-
probably shouldn't be talking to.
I don't know that.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like that one at all.
Yeah.
And I don't want to
Don't like
scare
it.
you. We'll find a different one. Lord. I did. Some of them are kind of long. Let's see what this one is.
Hello? Do I have any family members trying to communicate tonight? How's that? Can you come through? Can you say your name? My name. Thank you. Thank you. I just needed to know that I was really talking to somebody. Do you like it over there? No, are you stuck? I'm here. Yes, that's the way. Okay, I'm gonna end this session tonight. I'm gonna find out more on how to help you, okay? I'm gonna say goodbye. Yeah. Can you tell me goodbye? The day is up.
I noticed he called it a chat box. I don't know that that's a. That seems like a more friendly thing.
Well, and I tell you what, I was astonished that they used my name all the time. Because when you download the app from him, okay, then you have to register it. So until you register it, you don't enter your name, nothing. And at the time, and I don't know if he still does it, but at the time, you could use it for a period of time without registering it, and then eventually it would quit working. A lot of these were done pre-registration. My name wasn't entered. There's no way my name was in there.
Yeah, that's weird.
You know what I mean? Let's see. I'd really like to. Okay, here we go. This is a real quick one. They always knew me. Oh, here's a Central States Paranormal.
Flash. What?
Horror. That's been a popular word tonight too.
That's white. I'm getting a pain.
White?
White. You are.
Are you a white whore?
Maybe he's referring to us as a white whore. I don't know. But I am.
What did you say? I'm sorry.
I'm getting a pain behind my.
By your eye?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my right eye. Right. Right. Yeah.
Rest?
I do need rest.
No, if you want to come in here,
That was using the
you
echo.
can.
That was when I represented Central States and collaborated with Dust to Dawn Paranormal, and we did the courthouse up here.
I remember that.
Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see. One more before we go. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one.
Can you tell me how many fingers I'm holding up?
Did you hear her?
What's she say? 3?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh no, I don't like that stuff.
He said, how many fingers am I holding up? He goes, it better not be one.
you
Yeah,
are
I
number one
don't
on my
like this.
list.
Don't like those kind of devices. That first one was seemed like a bad deal.
Anyway, you can see all those videos either on my Shroud Paranormal ITC Facebook page or my Shroud Paranormal ITC YouTube channel.
Didn't you talk to Grandma?
Her name came up one day. And
Yeah.
Ed's name and Uncle John's name, Steve's uncle. Let me see if I can find those. I actually might be able to find that one easier on Facebook, to be honest.
It's a rainy day.
It is. Lord.
Yeah, I thought I was going to finish the yard today. I still got a little bit behind the shed to mow.
It is raining. It's took us off.
It quit raining here a while ago. I don't know if it's started again.
Yeah. Yeah. Hang on here. I don't know which one it is. It might be this one. Oh, hang on. Forgot I removed it from the stage. Okay. I actually don't know if it's the one or not.
How are you? Well, good. I'm glad.
I don't know. I hope you could hear it.
Dwight.
Do you have Dwight with you this evening? Can Dwight come through and speak? trying to communicate with me. Who is here?
Did you make
Can
that
you
up?
say their name? Say the name.
Well, the thing is, though, Grandma didn't like to go by the name Melody.
But that was her name.
It was.
It didn't say she was there. He
It
was
said,
for her.
I tell you, I remember the argument. I remember the argument between Grandma and Granny. She sat there. She goes, I don't understand why you didn't go by your first name. You always went by your middle name. And she goes, you named the cow Nellie, and then you named me Nellie. That's why she called herself Lucille.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think that's about all we got today. Be careful out there. If you are getting into this stuff, this really is no joke.
Tread lightly, my friends, and make
And do
sure
your
you got
research.
protection.
Study. Being spiritually protected is a real thing, and it's important.
Bad things can happen if you.
You gotta be careful with direct contact because it opens a doorway, and if you don't know how to close it, then anything can find you.
Yeah.
And will drive you crazy, can take over your house. So,
Yeah. It can be bad quick. It doesn't take long.
But I think on the Central States Paranormal page, I believe there's some EVP stuff on there, isn't there?
Yeah. Well, if you do have problems with this sort of thing, I mean, you could probably try to contact somebody like us and maybe get some hopefully advice that can help you out.
Absolutely. Message us, one of us, either here on this page or on the Facebook pages.
Honestly, if you have bad things, also the Catholic Church. Catholics seem to know
If
how to
that's
deal
what
with that stuff.
They might know about it, but getting them to actually come and help you is a whole nother story.
I mean, your walls pretty much got to be bleeding before they're going to come.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But usually, I tell you what, it's very, very rare, very, very rare that you get haunted by a true low vibrational demon. Very rare. It's very rare that you get evil. It's usually just something trying to scare you and be evil. Okay. It's very rare to have something that's going to hurt you. So don't just automatically, but do look out for signs. There are signs.
That's what I was just going to say. Yeah, there's definitely signs. Like signs of a demon would be like if you're using a Ouija board, demons are notoriously easily agitated. They're bad spellers. They're like if you ask them their name, it's going to have a lot of consonants that are hard to pronounce.
Here's the other thing. They stink.
Yeah.
They stink.
There's all kinds of things, but and any one of these things doesn't necessarily mean that. But if you're starting to get more and more of these things, then
I had a mom come to me. I was at a show. I forget where, but she came to me and she says, my daughter's closet smells like dead meat, and we can't figure out why.
Oh, that's not good.
That was not good.
It might be the dead body in there.
And I immediately connected her with across the aisle from me was a group, and I immediately took her over there and said, you need to talk to this lady. And if you can't help her, I'm sure you know who can. So, I mean, they do. They stink. They make you feel sick. Here's the thing. Spiritual beings or a true spiritual event is not going to be scary. It's not going to make you feel sick. It's not going to disrupt your life. If it does, then you're dealing with something else. And you need to fix it.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, 9 times out of 10, it's an easy fix. And if it isn't an easy fix, then you got big problems. But usually it's an easy fix. Simple saging, warding, wash your house down with thyme tea. It'll be fine. So,
Burn sage.
yeah, sage, anything, pine, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you smoke cleanse with, to be honest.
Yeah, and another thing to remember is if you have these kind of problems and you've like moved to try to get away from them, a lot of times they follow a person. They don't.
Yep.
They're not connected to the house, so moving isn't going to help you.
Right, right.
Because
And
a lot of people complain about how their problems have moved from one house to another with them.
Yeah,
It's because it's attached to a person.
that's right. That's exactly right. So definitely contact somebody if you need some help. If you want to come on and share your experiences, comment below. We'd love to have you as a guest.
Yep.
Yeah, we got room down here right beside me.
We got room. All right,
We can have
y'all.
3 more people.
Keep it ghosty. Keep it going. Give us some topics. Until next week.
All righty. Well,
Say
everybody, have
bye,
a good one.
everybody.